All right, so we'll try to just kind of jump through with both of these stories really quickly because it seems to be kind of constantly updating. So I have a story from yesterday that said Musk says SpaceX will decommission Dragon spacecraft after Trump's threat, because Trump threatened to take away the contracts, the SpaceX contracts, the Tesla contracts, the government subsidies that Elon's been getting. And so in a response, Elon said, "Oh, well, I'll just take my toys and go home. You don't need to get to the International Space Station anyway." So yeah, at first he said that SpaceX will decommission the Dragon space capsule, and then this morning we had a story that said SpaceX will not decommission the Dragon capsule. So we'll read a little bit of the first story. I don't want to get like, I pulled it up from space.com last night. Like I was going to do a real thoughtful story about this and how it's affecting more than just that. But like I said, it was immediately nullified this morning when I got on and saw that he had walked it back. So this is the story from space.com about how Musk said that he will decommission the Dragon capsule, but we're going to go ahead and get into, oh shoot. Well, that sucks. We're going to get into this one. I can't look at the bias distribution because I just accidentally closed it. Anyway, we'll read this article from Mashable India. I don't know how I got to that. I think I was rating by factuality. So I know that I'm pretty sure I can go back and look at it, but I believe this was a high factuality article. So Elon Musk agrees not to decommission Dragon spacecraft, saving astronauts and NASA from disaster. The conflict between U.S. President Donald Trump and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk over the one big, beautiful bill is spilling into the space sector. It started when Trump, seemingly annoyed with Musk's criticism over the bill, threatened to cancel federal contracts to SpaceX and save billions and billions of dollars. In response to Trump's threat, Musk announced that SpaceX will be decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately, causing panic among the industry experts. In light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will be decommissioning the Dragon spacecraft immediately. Thankfully, he took back the threat after a user called him out to cool off and take a step back. Good advice. Okay, we won't decommission the Dragon. This guy just says whatever he wants. He just says whatever he wants. Like he needs a publicist. He needs somebody else in charge of social media. I don't know, man. Like they both do. Trump and Musk both need somebody else handling their social media so that when shit like this happens, there is a degree of separation from this tantrum throwing. This is ridiculous, and it makes the United States look fucking ridiculous. Anyway, that's my little tirade. Eric Berger of Ars Techna, who has written 2 books on SpaceX history, posted on X saying decommissioning would end the International Space Station and simultaneously provide no safe way to deorbit it. He also said that Musk may not be bluffing. This is not necessarily a bluff. Elon has been reluctant to take on new Dragon-related projects for a while now and would like to move to human missions to Starship as soon as possible. Of course, it would completely end the ISS and impair future commercial space stations. Would it though? Because I'm pretty sure that like Blue Origin is in the space business, and while they're not necessarily at the level of SpaceX, there are other space-related companies. Just because Elon's company is the highest rated right now, the best, so to speak, doesn't mean that we can't move on from this. Like maybe an American-backed company. I don't know. I mean, not that SpaceX isn't an American company, but I mean a company that's... I don't want to get nationalist. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I'm just trying to throw shade at Elon. Anyway, notably, SpaceX is the one company NASA heavily relies on to transport astronauts and cargo to and from the space on the Dragon spacecraft. Even Indian astronaut designate will launch on the space station on June 10th on a Dragon spacecraft. Boeing could be another option, but it is yet to have a successful cargo or crew flight of its Starliner spacecraft. There are also private missions like Polaris lined up, which will launch with 4 astronauts on Dragon. Notably, NASA also seeks Russia's help in launching its astronauts under the seat swap agreement, but it is not what the Americans would prefer in the long run. The debacle has started on the 1-year anniversary of Boeing's launch of Starliner with NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Barry Wilmore. The spacecraft turned out to be faulty, and the duo returned home in March this year on the Dragon spacecraft over 8 months after it launched instead of 8 days. Northrop Grumman is another company that provides transportation services to NASA, but only for cargo. In June of 2024, NASA awarded SpaceX a contract worth almost $1 billion to develop a bigger Dragon spacecraft to deorbit the space station in 2030. As Berger said, without SpaceX, NASA may have to look for another option that could reduce its chances of crashing the station safely into the Pacific Ocean. So, yeah, not a good look, Elon, to be this back and forth on this. Why don't we just be a professional? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I've got. Loving is what I've got. I don't know. I'm not really optimistic about these people and what they're doing for humanity after yesterday, I gotta say. I'm gonna do one more story here. It's been a little bit of a long show. I don't normally go this long. What does it say I've been on for? 45 minutes, which like 5 minutes of it was probably my intro. So it's about the length of what our first few shows were. I was rushing through it before or something. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna do one more story here. Tesla loses $152 billion in market cap after the Musk-Trump spat on social media in the biggest hit ever to the stock. So, yeah. Uh-oh. Am I having, no, we're good. Okay. So, our bias distribution here is right down the center. We got 40% center, 36% left, 24% right. So it's a little bit more left than right, but it's still enough that like the story is getting around. Tesla is the most overvalued car company in human history. The overvalued company, period. Like, it blows away the next biggest manufacturer by a lot, and like the numbers. It's a technology company. It's not a manufacturer. It's not a car manufacturer. Okay. So factuality is 83%, and we're going to go ahead and get into this article from NBC News. So Tesla shares sink as Musk and Trump ridicule each other. The stock slide comes as a multi-billionaire criticizes the GOP spending bill and seeks to refocus his own companies after leading deep federal workforce cuts. Tesla shares have fallen 16% since CEO Elon Musk began bashing President Donald Trump's massive spending bill last week, and the stock remains about 33% lower since Inauguration Day. The slide since May 27th follows Musk's departure from the Trump administration the next day. It comes as the two men's relationship began publicly unraveling on Thursday. Musk, the world's richest person until recently, Trump's cost-cutting until recently, Trump's cost cutter in chief, said he was leaving as the head of the Department of Government Efficiency project to refocus on his businesses, which is good because you can see that his businesses are losing money. Those companies, Tesla, the satellite company SpaceX isn't a satellite company, it's a rocket company. The satellite company is the Starlink. The social media platform X and the brain tech startup Neuralink have faced growing criticism as Musk oversaw deep cuts to the federal workforce. Tesla sales around the world have fallen sharply this year because nobody wants a Nazi mobile. Sorry if you're watching, Andy. Trump and Musk traded escalating insults Thursday afternoon, with the president threatening on his Truth Social platform to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. Tesla stocks closed more than 14% lower Thursday. The automaker is Musk's only publicly traded company and the one that the president tried to boost as recently as March, drawing sharp criticism on ethical grounds for turning the White House driveway into a car showroom just as the company's stock was plunging. The Trump-Musk rift has dented Tesla's stock anew after Musk slammed the GOP spending bill as a disgusting abomination in a post on X last week. Bankrupting America is not okay, he wrote in another post, part of an ongoing barrage of public ridicule. Musk began speaking out after an electric vehicle tax credit that would help incentivize Tesla's purchase was not included in the bill, which is estimated to add $2.4 trillion to the national debt over the next 10 years. Musk has lobbied congressional Republicans for that tax credit. I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which includes the budget deficit doesn't increase it, or which increases the budget deficit doesn't decrease it, and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing, Musk told CBS Sunday morning over the weekend. As Trump spoke about the former Doge chief in the Oval Office on Thursday alongside German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, Musk began firing off dozens of posts on X. And we're not going to go through all of the posts. We know what happened. But the gist of it is that the Tesla stock is down quite a bit because it's the only publicly traded company that people can voice their frustration with what's going on. And I think it's kind of crazy that the stock market is so in love with Trump that, like, if you go against Trump, like, the company just tanks. But we're in the upside down, we're in the darkest timeline, all that good stuff. So this is where we are. Anyway. Hey, Cousin Matt here. Thanks for checking out that clip from Nightly News This Morning, a show I do live on this channel on Tuesdays and Fridays at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you like the content, please drop the video a like. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And I really do appreciate your comments. I'm really looking forward to having a discussion. I'd love to know what you think about it, and we will see you in the next one.